다 tani terang dana pepi nga tso porug nambada tani gyaru noshokum mari mamambuz lemdu tsamala tomar tani gongzhou dela ga tani tsamzhigin.
I'd like to start by first saying good evening to all the Tibetans, Chinese and Westerners gathered here tonight.
Tani terang Colombia lobdachi mongnala yongne atso tsamaga tani nyamdan dishine kabdapshi tani gorko shongwala ngarang pe tani gapro chempo shonsong.
And I'm very pleased to have the chance this evening to be at Columbia University and have the chance to engage in conversation with you all tonight.
Tani ngarang rangla tani gorko channe tsangmata nyamda tani nyamdan zombadang nyamda kabdapshi tani gorko chabala tani tsangmala tji chijing.
And I'd like to say thank you everyone here tonight for the opportunity to be with you all and to engage in discussion and conversation with you.
Tani terang ganekubsang atso parchir chisochida lagzam tinizula parchir chisochida karmanyeshi yarma tinizula tani nge the tsangmala tani kabdapshi tani chisoshika tinizgarangla tani atso tsangmaga tani jwa shini tanizushina samguyo.
Tonight I plan to speak for about an hour and 20 minutes, and then after that for half an hour there will be some time for questions and to be asked and for us to have some conversation.
Tani teranga nga tso tani jojit country rezena tani pogin nangtang go gomba tani tanrap ko shisuk pergila nipa country ton sikita tani zje.
The topic of tonight's talk is the role of monasteries in development in Tibet today.
Tani nga tso bozena tani sataka wandashina sacha hajang tak rangbozri yin te yindi tani kashi go tani nesar bog nangla bog chulu tani bog rigni yana bog chulu da rigni tega sacha tela tani 저 판토 간디즈 요나 메나 식진 간디즈 탭고 요나 메나 때 가지가 하마공 컨틴디양 요지리.
Because Tibet is a faraway place, there are probably some people who don't know a great deal about Tibetan religion and Tibetan traditional culture, the benefits they bring, the effects they have.
Tani shokchik wandashina yangchikshena tani nga chun zambalang chama charja ga tola parsar tani chama chavi tola parsar ro de ga yore te yindi tani lorji chama ngesamlo tana mangchiwa za ka parchi hako yo jire.
But on the other hand, we live in the era of the internet where everybody is interconnected and communicating with each other frequently, so probably a lot of people, most people have a good understanding of history, Tibet's history.
Gantari yang terang ngaco tani Colombia lobja ga tani ngaco la godukshi pitani jojin di tone tani chamala khabdam do diz tani shekin.
But in any case, the topic that I just mentioned before is the one that we are going to talk about tonight.
Tani bok sacha zerate tani zambalang ga tone sacha pe tani musur ga sacha tani zure.
So what we call by the name of Tibet is in the world a very special place.
Tani ngamanda inna tani shirtang rogo na yang tani jimjirta kangkatane yang tezi karbon rawo tani sacha zure.
In times gone past, it was a place that was relatively difficult to get to from the point of view of transportation available at those times.
Tani titola neong ken ga murugta yang chik tani yang koso yang chik sacha tani muksarwa zika tola yang chik murug muksarwa chik yang tani zo neo re.
And so the people who lived in the land of Tibet were a special people.
Tani murug tela samlo tamba yanna tani korang pamjur ka to toni shanna ngama yang tani jili zure tarta yang jili zure do.
If we look at this people from in terms of their economic attainments, then they were backward in the past and they are backward today.
Tani jete yana samlo do toni samlo tangona tirim nishi tashik ba thola thon bi te kamna yang 덴디티 치타용나 양 덴디기 질리즈 마리.
However, in terms of their thought, in terms of their ideas, looking at them from the perspective of the 21st century, they weren't backward at all.
데니 머르드 데니 로통차 가시가 데니 나라 데 르니가 토라 데니 삼로 mampo즈 또 땅네 덴디시 용근 그 머르드 덴디즈리.
The Tibetan people were a people who, for over 1,000 years, put a great deal of thought into their culture and questions of culture.
데니 코랑초 같은 다 우보 야르게가 토고 우보 야르게 동 유셔도 데니 저 조다 잡진라오다 차는 그 락서라 데니 저 로종만 보시진라다 데니게 레카만 보 코술레 문득.
They weren't a people who, in order to develop the external world and material things, devoted a lot of energies.
데니 밤줄 야르게서 만주위 김선양 쪼쪼 데니즈리.
And so the reason for the lack of economic development was this.
데니 코랑초 로 통차식 다데니 섬자 데니즈 그 네르금니 종 데니 야그르다 데니 드와 할리파 만보시오레 르네가 토네.
So from about 1,300 years ago, Tibet established cultural connections with India.
데니 야그르 그 로통차니다 납자가 데니 공고 데니 상지 샥자다 바고 데니 출르그나니 삼로 만보즈 데니 코초 데니 서브 들린 데니 셴두.
And they extracted many of the thoughts of the Buddha, the Buddhist tradition that developed in India over 2,500 years ago.
데니 삼로 데서 탐저 보데니 볼라 톤 살위 지스 데니 양 뽑아서 디토라 짐직 만보시 데니 데니 딱신 만보시니 데니시니 르네데 데저 퍼스무 소반라고 데니즈렌 요레.
And after these ideas, after this tradition was brought to Tibet, Tibetans continued to investigate them, to research them, and develop them further so that they, in fact, developed an extremely wonderful culture of their own.
데니 코랑초 데니 짐직시사가 쪼쪼도 가르지나 슈초 응보 데 마리 코랑초 짐직시사데 쪼 먹어 체쪽라 짐직시 근도.
The object of research that Tibetans were concerned with was not the external material world, but rather human life, the consciousness.
데니 미체쪽당 디토라데니 코초 양 먹은데 샘컴데라데니 베더 짐직만보 데니 셴두.
So in terms of researching human life, a great deal of attention was paid to the human mind.
데니 베르나 데니 납쇼라 데니 다 슈초 슐로고 우보데라 할레바가 데니 통신시에니 데니 참마가 데니 디토라 짐직만보 만보치니 데니 야르게당 점제 할레바 만보 데니 숑요리.
The Western valuation of the external world and material things led them to obtain extremely great results in terms of their investigations into these areas.
데니 베 데이진드 베나 데니 코랑초 데니다 먹어 셈다 데니 먹어 체쪽라 데니 짐직 망보시니 데 디토라 양 코솔라 양 점제 양 망보요레.
And Tibetans likewise, given the importance they placed on the human mind, the efforts that they devoted to researching these things led to great results and fruits of their research.
데니 베나 체쪽라 데니 삼로다나 데니 먹어 체쪽도 토머 강니 쇼와레 데니 타가 마옹 바나 코초 강란 조레 뜻고 토라 데니 짐직 망보시 데니 디토라 소소 냠뇽 망보 싹 덴디시네 데니 베자 망보 즈 덴디시요레.
And so the Tibetan tradition researched questions such as where the human life or the life force originated from, where did it go upon death, and upon researching and investigating these things very deeply and through the accumulation of experience, Tibetans wrote a lot of treatises on these matters.
데니 코랑초라 있나 소소라 데니 직된 거 데니 따스레 직된 거 따와레 데니 체쪽 거 따와 머체 거 따와레 른탕 거 따와레 데니 따와 선보데라양 코소라 무스 그냥 따와 먼저와 데니 망본두.
And so in terms of worldviews, sense of values, valuation of human life, Tibetans had very special vantage points on these.
Teni tendri yin song di teni tawa te so nang la teni tarta nga zo teni ta mo changma la teni pan thoya ta teni zambalang ga mo sadang sala pe na chuluk khorang ya teni ishi chuluk shin ken yin na anja muslim chuluk shin ken yin na anja yana khorang teni chuluk chawa ni ta pa menkin ga mo yin na anja teso suyin na gangtar ro mo ga rig yin chardi yang ko so go sem go thola teni pan thoya ga teni go teni yang jemje yang mampo ti rigni ti na la nduk.
And so the results of their research are things that can be of benefit to all people today, regardless of their religious background, regardless of whether they have a religious faith or not. The fruits of the Tibetan tradition can be of benefit to everyone.
Tini korang chogo tini checho ko tini tawate la tini munam ko tini ta mugyang de hajang ko tini rambo tini to chikendu.
On account of the worldview or valuation of the human life, human existence that the Tibetan tradition had, Tibetan people had an extremely long-term or long-range view of life.
Tini mutse mo checho ko tini mugyang de rambo tini resondi tini munam la tini rewa sarwa tang tini je to rehnyak she sa twichu ze rehnyak she sa tini sarwa ta tini mampus korang ko so tini shigndus.
So on account of this long-range view of life that Tibetans held, they were able to generate all kinds of new hopes and pursuits.
Teni nabshokot teni tsarik teni ta shiso ngubola jimjiksheni teni aneluk mamboz teni hako yore.
In the Western tradition, the efforts that were made into investigating the external material world enable the discovery of a lot of truth.
Teni boba rignendi nane teni koso mo checho tang mo semkham la jimjik mambo lo tongchak chik da chik rang la jimjik sheni teni koso teni to tithola yang to je mambo sem mo semda mo checho ko nilu teni mambo teni thongyore.
And the Tibetan tradition arrived at an understanding of truth in relation to the human mind and in relation to the human life and consciousness.
Teni ngaran cho teni jo ngubo nilu zhenxiang nilu ngoma te teni to shiguna te haliba kamore kapkapsa wangcha teni nga cho teni nilu te paru jibni momthongwa teni je yore kapkapsa gurmo teni wan teni nilu te jibni teni momthongwa teni rendo yore teni kapkapsa teni tele jamba ga teni yang nga so nilu te momthongwa teni rendo yore nilu te momthongwa la nilu te thongwi teni parchet kakte mambo yore kapkapsa wangchare kapkapsa pamjure teni kapkapsa jimtsan jambare to so nga so nilu thongze ya te hajang kakbore.
In understanding the truth of many things, of matter and of things in the world, is often very difficult. Often the reason for the way things are changes, and it's not easy to understand or perceive the truth of these things.
Teni pena yinayang teni kangar mamboz yore ta yinayang teni koso teni ta mambo teni kapsate lo tongchak gongla mamboz teni ta ringni pok pena teni lo chung chog nani je rigpa sawo yakbo yongken teni shirig yakbo yongken teni teso semkham teni tangbo yakbo yongken teso chama serb duni teni yagar la sone teni ringni te la lo jong shendu ti kaps kangar mambo shom nyu ja thamba yar sona mu chit thamba mar lo yong wa teni ma to yong thap ko ya mar ta yinayang kable mambo jabni teni ringni ti thola ko so teni baba shendu.
In the Tibetan tradition, to begin with, over 1,200, 300 years ago, the brightest and the most erudite young children were brought together and sent to India to study knowledge and culture over there. They endured a lot of hardship in this process. Of 100 people who were sent, only a few returned.
Tani da korang so tani jimjik tsawati tani mi chechok dang tani ta mi semkham la tani ta sheyo pati jimsenji tani khongcho la yang tani chechok ko shokla tani tawa jandang manjawandu mi semkham ga shokla tani yang tawa yang janda mandrawa tindi tawa mampundus.
So on account of the fact that their subject, their express subject of study was the human mind and the human life force, the view or understanding that the Tibetan tradition has on these topics is unique.
Tani bobagnani pe nam lotong chakchik da samja tindi zika rangla tani mashiyun shirik yak boyonken malapa tani ta samo yonken tsoga tani sarik jimjik shiyo mare jamba jiji shiyo mare koran so mi che chokta mi sem ga tok mutak la jimjik shi ni tindi shi ja pi jimchenji tani kosola tani tawa mamboz tani muksar ka tawa mambo yo pi jimchendi tirezi ta lotong chakchik da jignala kosu sha jamba mambo limendugze tela jimjik tatap shi yores.
So the reason for the special and unique view and understanding that the Tibetan tradition has of the human mind and the human life force is the fact that for over 1,000 years, people devoted themselves solely to the study of these topics, and instead of doing all manner of other things, they were expressly concerned with the study of these things.
Teni ti tawa te so teni kani shongwa rezena teni bobaga teni gombaga nane teni shongwa rendos.
And these ideas and understandings originated in the monasteries.
Teni gombaga nani tawa te so kani shongwa rezena so teni sanje shakja tapaga teni jong tela teni shongwa rendos.
And the ideas and understandings in the monasteries had as their origins the scriptures and doctrines of the Buddha.
Rete yena teni sanje shakja tapaga songa nana teni songdu zeke teni changbazang mare ze wopa rangati thola jimjik mambo shi nyamnyong haliba mambo sagne teni sanje songa nana yo padang soso go teni ta jimjik ta soso go teni nyamnyong te nyamdo domni teni tam jigndri o teni zeni teni tawa mambo yore.
But the view that and the understanding that the Tibetan tradition had was not out of a blind faith and acceptance of the fact that these were things the Buddha had said. Rather, they investigated them, they examined them, and based on their own experience and inquiry into the nature of the Buddhist truths, they examined the results and accepted them on a basis of rigorous examination.
Tawa te so teni ta dangrap ko shusok ndi nangla teni ta shikin kandizi tep ko nge terang nampatam chipola jiati teni te yen tengen dordizi jagyen.
So these views and understandings that originated at this time in the Tibetan tradition and their influence on today's society in Tibet is what I would like to talk to you about this evening.
Teni shirtang tawa ti teni ta bok shusok nangla teni ta shikin mambu shok mambu zeni teni shikin tebyo reti yena ta nge teni mambu shak man nge shok kashi zeni teni chamala ngocho tu shek.
In general, the influence of Buddhist views and ideas on Tibetan society happened in all kinds of ways. These views affected all aspects of Tibetan society, but tonight I'm just going to talk about a few ways in which these views have had social impact.
Teni thomer kocho teni te zawachik kangre tawa zawachik kangre zena korang chu samlo tana teni ta ngachu teni jiting ga teni ngupon do so teni mukum thongui ngupo do so teni gela teni dreun jongwa pena ngachu metong di sawon la teni metok ko teni dreun jongwa teni go shilok la yopi gimje chik teni ta yopati ngachu chama hakwa tere te kocho teni te Tari shigo jimdrezi ne tindi zegandus. Pena ngaso metong dal saun dala tini nyukum jongo yores tela jimdrezi tela shiloko jimdrezi.
So in terms of the way that these ideas were brought about in Tibetan society, one of the ways was that the ideas were perceived or understood was in terms of their causal relationship that one could perceive with one's eyes.
Tani nang jimdrezi chik tani konso shakan dosi nang jimdrezi tani nang jimdrezi ati kangla zeng dosi na tani sosorang ka shawa yakbozu shina telam drewa yakbozum jongwa tani shawa dugbozu shina telam drewa dugbozum jongwa tela korang so nangum drewa zeni tani zegre.
And in terms of the first kind of cause and effect or law of causation that was talked of was just as Khenpo said, in terms of the external world that's observable with the eye. And then the second way that cause and effect was spoken of was in terms of one's inner mind and the relationship between one's actions and their results.
Tenji indi deni korang so zena muschi katini korang maung ba katini korang katini dunlam de mochi poyin nanda dungmerdang dam bayin nanda gangin na teni murang katela teni chunjum shitab kare mato jamba ju lada njeda tenji zila riwa chago mare teni mirang katini te rang katini lewang la te chunjum shitab kare zine korang so tenji ze gres.
So on account of this belief in the law of causation, people believed in the ability to control their own futures and fates, and didn't necessarily believe that these things lay in the hands of ghosts and gods, but they had the power to affect their own outcomes.
Teni ti jimje ti nga chogo mukun thongji yo mare nawa go goji yang yo mare te yinna nga chogo mukun mur mumthong wa da nawa go muthu wi tini jimje ga tini ngubo. So this
kind of inner way of, or inner law of cause and effect is not one that can be perceived with the eye or understood with the ear. What was believed was that there are many things, or the nature of causation happens in many ways that are not able to be perceived with the eye. In terms of contemporary scientific understanding, the idea that we cannot perceive everything with our own eyes is considered now to be truth. In fact, of all the things that are around us, we probably can only perceive 4% with our own eyes.
Lodrö kalab si tian suppose Lodrö kalab tu tani nga cho nikayang thonga yo mare nawayang ko yo mare ta ina nga cho khabar ndala tinna tani khabar kana la mi ja ko yo ta tenji ge jimje mambos yuati tani to tarta na yang tak bare yo res.
So for example, things like electric waves are things that we can't perceive with our eyes, we can't see them, we can't hear them, and yet that we know that they operate in terms of telecommunications and things like that. So this kind of idea that there are many things that happen or exist in relationship of causation but we can't see is acceptable, considered true today.
Tani tenji ge tani shawa yakpo le nam de yakpo yong wa ta shawa dukpo le nam de dukpo le wa te mo zu jak ban ra wo tenji mare te korang rang shung go chuni ta zran de gui lu ze rang shung go chuni zre zine te korang cho tenji ze gre.
So the idea that good actions lead to good results and negative actions lead to negative results was not something that people believed in with blind faith, but was really seen to be the natural order of things.
Teni te rang sanji shakya tapa korang ga teni shiba yang mare si sanji shakya tapa korang ga tenji ga jimji zi yo pa te korang ga shiba re ma tok pa korang ga zuba mare zine tenji ze ga yores.
So in this way, the Buddha was described as not the inventor of the law of cause and effect, but rather the discoverer of the truth of law of cause and effect.
Teni tenji ga teni ngupo ta nga cho teni ta nga cho tarta ga mung da thonga yo mare tarta ga nawan da thu ga mare ta ina nga cho gum gyam ni teni nga cho tarta ga mug ta jebjang song na ti mug jebjang song charwi jis teni ti mug ta ga ta na teni tim rewa tim thong go yores.
So there are things that with our current state of seeing, our current sensorial capacities, we can't see, but through meditation we can improve the capacity of our senses, our eyes for example, so that we can eventually perceive things that we can't in our untrained state see.
Tani perna nga cho ngubo nani ngacho mukum thongoi sakolare karmare tani to gutsuk chimjit to chama ngacho jikting ka mambo zum thong de yati ngacho mukum thonga te rete te jacha jima to te mandu te mayim bi jacha gupchu kotuk te ngacho mukum thong yo marta yena tani tele jamba tele zangwi tini churcha tene ka tayuna tini te yobade hako yo re pe tenra ores.
So this is just like if we consider the universe, the stars we can see, the planets we can see, probably comprise only 4% of what is actually out there. However, with more sophisticated tools, more things are able to be registered and seen in the universe, and this is comparable to the way of the Buddhist tradition.
The Tindian Sarting at Zotini, Bobaga Mutsama, Sim Ganala, Tindi, Sim Tangla, Tindiga, Tangi, Shawa de Bozilejana, Tini, Arangla, Gini de Boyungore, Sambatan, May Shawa Yabozilejana, Arangla, Tini, Yabozungore, Tini, Gimji, Re Sambate, Kusum Susu, Semnala, Hachanga Zamut in his dose.
So, with a belief in the functioning of the law of causation in ways that are not always perceivable to the naked eye, Tibetans embodied or developed a very deep and profound belief in the operation of causation, that doing good things would lead to good results and negative things would lead to negative results. And this view, this belief, had a great deal of influence and impact on Tibetan society. Not only an effect on society in general, but also a great effect on the individual lives of Tibetans. It had in particular a great impact and influence on the emotions and feelings of people.
Chimti Karti Shisuna Galatini Chapayung Rema Topa, Mashina Gala Chapayung Maris, and Manam Gotindi Samgorin, Zambalang Matsama Tindi Samgundus.
So in the world today, most people think that if they do, if they commit acts that are in contravention with the law, if they know that it's in contravention of the law, that they will receive a punishment. But if they don't know that it is, then they won't.
Tini mutso musada sugina, Tini Koranga Chumgurga Shawata, Tini Nibat Shipi Kapsu, Tini Koranga Chusam Gorizina, the Mujambag Shiga Mare Samni, Kosogo Tindisam Goremato, the Mujambag Shiga Re Samni, Tindisamnada, Koranga Chumgurga Shawati, Shiga Marita, Mumambuzgan, the Chumgurga Shawati, Jambag Shiga Mare Samni, Tindisam Gorezi.
So many people feel that their actions are against the law when they are things that other people know about or when they're known about. However, if others don't know, in fact, about their actions, then they don't consider them to be against the law. So for this reason, in Western countries such as England and America, in fact, behavior or conduct that is against the law is in fact increasing, not getting less. So we can see very clearly from statistics that illegal behavior or behavior against the law is not in fact getting less. It's only growing to become more frequent. Of course, in Tibet, there are people who do things that are against the law. Of course, there are people in prisons, etc. I'm not saying for a second that this doesn't exist in Tibet at all.
ngi nopa shevjana tan di jimsin ti nga jimang maung bala ngarang rang la de dubo yongore sambi tini samlo to yo charti tangi te shinyang ka mar ma to pa de mojang ko konanja mashinanja shinanja ngarang la dubo yongore samdi tini konan sola ti soso rang tini zilui ya ge na zilui zina rangshin ze ji rangshi de mo changma la yores.
However, most people nevertheless have a great belief in and conviction in the idea that by doing harmful actions to other people, the negative consequences are something that they will have to bear themselves personally. It's not a question of whether anyone knows about their acts or doesn't know about their acts. The fact that they have done something that's harmful will mean that the negative consequence is something they have to bear, and this has a restraining or self-disciplining effect on people.
Tani korang so samlo tana dugba mergi wa dumna kola mojamba ga shinanja mashinanja korang la dugbo yongre samba ga tani samlo ta tani gewaz dumna ti mojamba ga shinanja mashinanja korang kebo yongre sambi samlo to yo charti tani dugba zena tani shawa dugbo mambo male wala tani pe phanto yongdos.
So the belief that by doing negative acts one will suffer in the future, and by doing positive virtue acts one will reap positive results, had great benefit in restraining people from committing harmful actions. So how were or is virtuous or positive and harmful and unvirtuous behavior to be distinguished and understood?
Tani mo jamba yenanda chokchak jamba yenanda tani jamba la no papsia ga tani kaja shapa tang leka leya tang tani sem ga nala tani ga namtok kiwa teso tamchi korang cho dugba rezini mo jala no pashi shi ki ka shawa to tamchi pola dugba zini tani tsaga yo res.
So wrong behavior or negative behavior was understood in terms of whether it was harmful to other humans or other living beings, whether it be in the form of physical actions, spoken words, or thoughts generated in the mind.
Tani gewaze wati kangla zeng tu zena tani moyen nanda chokchak nanda jamba tamchi pola tani phamba yong ya ga kaja sha padang tani phamba yong ya ga leka lewa tang phamba yong ya ga tani sim ga nala tani samlo tang ya techo sumbo dela tani korang cho tani gewaze ni tani ngunzen shega yore.
And virtuous and positive behavior was also similarly understood in terms of behavior that was beneficial, whether in terms of action, speech, or thought to other human beings and forms of life.
Tani tendi in charti tani koso sem ga nala tani ta so rang ta nge shawa jan la no pa shia kaja shanyang ga mare o ngarang la du boyong gare jan la no pa ga leka linyang ga mare ngarang la du boyong gare jan la no pa ga samlo tonyang ga mare ngarang la du boyong gare sambi samlo to yo charti tani koso tani namjin tani zavzav che ga yore ta shiso ko denjak la hale pa ga tani phantong dos.
So this idea that if I do harmful things to others, whether it be through my words or the things my actions or through my thoughts, if I do these things, I will incur the negative consequences myself. This was a very strong influence in curbing people's harmful actions towards others.
Teni jimri telatin jimri te teni ta boba gazena tela jangdin zegare jangdin te machama teni pena koso terang me yakpo zerita me dugbu zereze me mu zambo ta me ngamba ga yewa shiate charge kangla teni yewa shi yorzena teni li jimri tela stchung yakpo shinkan chamala koso me yakpo zegend teni li jimri la teni stchung machine kan chamala teni koso me dugbu zeni teni gungun chegendus.
And so the way in society that good people and bad people were distinguished and understood was in terms of whether or not they applied the law and followed the law of causation, cause and effect in their own lives.
Deje mato tani chu mo shibo dang mo kachak jandang o mo chu wangsha yongkan sangma mo zambo reziata tani mo worwo dang mo tani kone me pa dang wangsha me pa cho mo dugbo rezi tani zeng mares.
And so they didn't believe that the good and bad in terms of persons was to be judged in terms of a person's wealth or status or fame or yes.
Tendi yendi teni mo tendi ga teni ta chongba shi ka nang la na chowa shi ka nang la tendi mo tendi ga jimje ga thola yakpo shi ni jamo jangdin tendi ga teni ta shenkan zu yo na te khoso go ma yakpo re chama ga zibgar she ga re teni jangdin mayem bi teni ta le ka len kan tendi ga mo yo na teni khoso go ta ma dugbo re ni chama ga thongchong she ga re.
So if in a given village or community a person was honest and upright and followed the law of cause and effect well in their lives, then they would be considered by everyone as a good person and they would be respected and esteemed on that basis. And if there was a person who didn't do these things, who really acted in contravention to the law of cause and effect, then they would be looked down upon in their communities.
보바가 되니 ren탕가 따와가 나니 줄지가 따와 주류思想제 줄지가 삼로린도스.
And so in Tibetan society these kinds of ideas and beliefs were very mainstream.
되니 디 삼로도 되니 코랑솔라 시소고 돌아 되니 판토 용와 마츠 되니 코랑 뭐 게르라 되니 주다 코랑라 되니 샤와 람주 마용완다오다 되니 주뭐 잠바가 닙주숑완다오다 되니가 되니 Jean la Mendopa, Tindi Mamboshon, Nekabna, Kosu Simtola, Tawa, Kosu Simtola, Simsu Yongwala, Pantoya Boyongondos.
So these ideas and beliefs didn't just have benefit to society in general, they were also of great benefit to individuals in terms of their own mind and how they dealt with situations, for example, ridicules or put-downs from other people, the effect or the use of these ideas and beliefs was very comforting.
Tani tawa ti to ko tini mo jamba nam ji tini rang la tini chu tini dugbon ra tini shi yong na tini te la tini chu yerdang da khong chu da tini khonzen de so chou hen bao yuan o de so mo shi pa la tini yang pe pan tong yong gan dos.
So it was of great benefit to people when they were treated or mistreated, ill-treated by others, in helping them not to generate feelings of anger and revenge and hatred towards others.
Teni Koran so samlo tang pa na ta mundi teni ngala dugbo she shongze te she gowi jimsen chi chi me nge matela no pa chawa ni she mamyong da yina ngarang la teni dugbo she songze ta te yindi ni chi ngama nge teni Koran la teni gate no pa she yo yinjire samne te khocho go teni tangling shin do gondos.
So when they were mistreated or ill-treated by others, they would think, well, this person has been really mean to me, they've not been good to me, and I haven't done anything to warrant it. But the reason for this is probably because at some time in the past I mistreated them or was not good to them.
Teni ngaranso mo sidang sein nan chowa na la ngaso sim go tola teni dungmer mo yongwi nerkam na dungmer mambo de kandi yong gan dozena ngaso nguyo ko tonte tanglim she matapi tob ji teni te par ngaso nguyo ko tonte par ga te tanglim ma shi tendi shi pi jimsen ji teni dungmer de che chin ro yores.
So in our lives, one of the key sources of suffering is because when things are done to us, wrongdoings are done to ourselves, we don't have the ability to change places and understand the or to really appreciate in this way or deal with, be able to transform, in fact, these negative feelings.
Teni semtoni dungar yongwa yenanda libo tola dungar yongwa yenanda teni ngarang la tan ngarang la dungar re teni dang samni dungar la chak teni dungar la jikchak chembo che teni ngarang la teni dungar je yong gowi jimsen kain na samni teni ga mangbo teni shi yong di dungar ta tangdale matavti teni dungar ta che shin ro res.
So the inability to really deal with the suffering, whether it be of one's mind or whether it be of one's body, leads people to only increase in their suffering.
Teni ta dungar kain na suso ranga teni ta shawa leka yabuz lena yang teni ta yabuti lam je ma shong ni dungar shong song na ti kapse teni koran sa wa ta ngarang leka teni yabuz le ta inna ta ngar dungar shong na ta ngama ga ni dungar ka teni nge dungmur yongya ga leka tindis nge leyo injiri samni korang ga dungmur tangdalen ro dungmur tangdalen sona te dungmur mayim barin ro res.
So the traditional Tibetan approach would be when something negative happened, when one had not done anything to precipitate it, one had only done good acts, would be to view the reason for these things happening as a result of something that one had probably done in the past. And so by being able to take on this suffering and to transform it, what originally began as suffering could be dissipated and turned into something that was no longer a cause of suffering.
Teni tawa tela tenni teni nga zo shuso tola tsama ramnim yongwala teni halipa pantok yakbo yongdus.
And this belief or these notions had great benefit in terms of equality in Tibetan society.
Jamnim zerati perna thomar nga zo chuluk teni thonisha bayena perna nga zo mujalla teni nopa yongya ga lekka tendis ngarang zo perna namba sanji baz teni levjana teni khorang teni jev dugbo yongare yeshi chuluk pa tendis la lojong shenken zka teni dugbo de lena khorang dugbo yongare devjendo teni chuluk jamba gang inna teni chuluk gangla lojong shenken ga mo inna da chuluk gang teni loma inna da sha dugbo de levjana teni khorang chama la dugbo yongare samgare ma to ba ngarang namba inna dugbo yong mare teni sawane samgamandus.
It had great benefit for equality because according to the laws and cause and effect, if a person does a negative action to another, then regardless of what that person's background is, whether they have a different religious faith, whether they have Christian faith or an Islamic faith, or whether they have a Buddhist faith, in fact, it's all the same. It's not simply a matter of being good only to Buddhists. It's a matter of being careful of one's behavior in relation to all people.
Tani shawa zambo mujalla tini pantoya ga lekka de lena shawa de lena tani kyoram namba ga lena ya kyoram kibo yongore yishi chuluk baz ga lena ya kibo yongore tani the muslim ga chuz tini chuluk baz ga lena kibo yongore tani chuluk s ga lena ya yakbo yongore ma to ba ngarang cho namba yakbo yongore ma to ba jambala yong mare tani chawani sam ga mares.
And by the same token, positive actions, regardless of whom they are undertaken in respect of, all generate good results. So it's not a case of positive actions to Buddhists only result in good outcomes. It's positive actions in relation to any other living being.
Te yembati sanji shachata bagatani namba sanji baga samlo res.
And this is Buddhist thought.
Namba sanji pa khorang ko samlo ta na ina khorang so muti la tini maung bana demo yongda mayung zerate khorang ko sha yakbo lemale la thyo ma to ba sanji la tapashi mashita namba la tapashi mashita tendi la thyo re zeg maris.
So in terms of Buddhist doctrine, whether a person enjoys positive things in the future or negative things, it's all related in fact to one's immediate actions. It's not linked to whether one has faith in the Buddha or Buddhist doctrine. It's reliant on what individuals' actions are in fact.
Tani chorang ka karte simchin la nopa ga lekka tenti mambo levjana tani chorang namba yena tani jima baung bala tani dugbo yongare tani dugbo yongwi tani pe mambo namba ga tani chugna la tamgetta lorji mambo yores.
So if one does negative things, then regardless of whether one's a Buddhist, one will arrive at suffering in the future. And of course, in Tibetan history, there are many Buddhists who have done negative things.
Tani kartes jamba la tani te nopa yongya ga shawa tani le jana tani namba koranga tani mare kartes jan la phamba yongya ga tani shawa tani le jana tani namba mayina yishi chulu payina jamba te dang ti mach perna ore tatambo yishi chulu payina tani jamba ga tani chulu jamba la tani lojong shenken tani zgena korang la tani maomba na yakpo yongare te yongwi tini ta lorji ta jimsen mampoz te namba ga chugna la tani shendus.
And positive actions, regardless of whom they're undertaken towards, similarly result in good actions. And the equality of undertaking positive actions and negative actions, the equality of the results they engender, is something that is discussed a lot in the Buddhist tradition.
tani lerkate tani janla pantoya ga lerkate lena mo matsata pena chochak chonraoda xianraoda tandis ko tani janla pantoya ga lerkaz levjana korangland geware sambata margewara sambati mi samlu tinti yo marita menayang korang shawa yakbo levjana tini koranglayang maumbana dewe yakbo yong yore.
And similarly, the good actions are not only undertaken in respect of human beings, also good actions undertaken towards animals, birds, dogs, etc., also work according to the same law of cause and effect.
Teni tawati ngacho boba ga rigne ga nangla te halipa ga tondak chimbozla teni zego yores.
And so these ideas in the Tibetan tradition, in Tibetan society, are regarded as extremely vital, extremely central.
Teni gomba nala boba gomba suso nala teni titokla jimjik mambo shi samlo mambo shi zum mambo tru teni shine teni ngama yang tere tarta ga parte gomba nala teni shege yores.
And so Tibetan monasteries, over the course of their long history, whether in the past or today, have really applied a lot of effort to investigating these ideas, researching them.
Tani gomba tani soso gomba rang nangla tindi shepa match tani gomba nani lo takbar tani ngacho gungtisna gundawasam gathasona tani ngacho popa rongba inare leka leya mambo yo mare ti kaps tani gomba soso tani chaba so tani mar mangso nangla droni mangso la tani ti lorjit so koda yak pocha ne chamala lojong shine tandi shegres.
And these ideas and these understandings, this knowledge is not something that's just contained to monasteries in Tibet over the winter months when farmers and herding communities have a lot of leisurely time. Lamas and monks from the monasteries would go into communities and educate people about these ideas and ensure that they had a good understanding of them.
boba nane teni tawa rentang ka tawa teni chigri ta ti gomba rangal hobjong shi janla teni chobjak shi teni shi pa ti gimsen ji teni nga chu shiso ko tola denjagla phamba haleba yak bo yong yores.
So this is one key value of Tibetan society, that monasteries would take these ideas and bring them out into the community, share them with others, benefit others, and these would have great benefit for safety and order in society at large.
Tani nga chu mang cheshu te samlo ti top ko tani yakbo yoreta inna tani loso jamna tani loso tani yakbo mathim sanrawota soso rang kona yang tani soso ko sem chunjun yakbo shi mathimni tani shawa dikbolen kan tindi yang
Most people accepted these ideas and applied them in their lives, although of course there definitely were people and are people who don't and act against them, not in the spirit of them, in contravention of them. Of course these people exist too, but they are not very many in number.
Teni nipa ta rezena teni khorang chogo chechok la teni ta jimjik mambo she ne teni nyamlin mambo she jimjik mambo she piti didi kosu teni she yore ti jimji ta rezena teni khorang chogo teni chechok ta mi chechok zewate shiwi ne kamna teni mepa chakswa mayam par tarung yin rambo la teni nenkan teni zgimba ta kosu teni hako yores.
And second, the result of many years of research and practice in respect of understanding the human life, the life force, the consciousness, has generated a view of life which does not terminate or cease at the end of the current life we have, but continues indefinitely for a long time into the future.
Teni mush tsarwi jis tarung tini to ta sheo mare chetok yore zeni shapati post chipo mare ze ngamani teni lotong cha mambo koni chulug mambo go shakandu teni msani rupa ga teni nopshok msani rupa sharshok msani rupa mambo zu ko teni shatang te shak yore ze te boba chipo ta yana namba sanji ba chipo mare mambo zu ko shir shakandu.
Of course, the knowledge that there are future lives beyond our present one is not something that is exclusive to the Tibetan tradition. Many thousands of years ago, there are other religious traditions that also held the same idea, and in more recent times, Eastern scientists and Western scientists have also accepted this viewpoint.
냠뇽 것토니 되니 또 짐직쉐니 되니 당운이 장니 무트 신르비 네급라 강지 전종도 되니 양 강지 용건도 또 참마디 여름 고천제나 여름도 참마 고저 냠뇽 것토니 할리파사로 하고 요레스.
But the unique contribution or the unique aspect of the Tibetan tradition was that through great experiential research and investigation into death and rebirth, a very detailed and precise understanding was obtained of the process of dying and the process of rebirth.
이나 땡아주 보바 참아드니 하고 그래서 말해지디 보바그나니 곰겹 더니 또 곰그더니 냠린 할레바 약부 용컨 참통보 용컨 또 소고 더니 참아드니 하고 요레스.
Of course, to say that every single Tibetan had this understanding is not accurate. The people who, in fact, did have this understanding were those highly realized practitioners who, through their own practice, were able to realize and confirm these things. And the results of their experience, they recorded in writing and left as a legacy. For example, the Tibetan Book of Dying.
냥근 나자오다 양나티 랑코르티니 직드니 점저그 돈킨 쇼와다 던지 쇼니 다 셜라 니위 값스더니 만주셰니 셔르더니 소용위 값스더니 코솔라 냠뇽만 본데 디 냠뇽도 당 찍바식냥 렌도요리스.
And so the kinds of understandings or experiences of death in the Book of Dying are similar to things that have been experienced by Westerners who have had heart failure or have been in accidents and have passed into death and then returned, so near-death experiences.
Teni shiwiti jigtini rimbatso tamchipo teni sarushini teni shayosate ngesamlotan parchin zambolon gotona yige tebuni mato yogo yosamares.
Probably on the earth today, in the world today, books that explain in a really detailed and precise way the process of dying. There are probably only 2 books that describe this process clearly. One of them is the Tibetan Book of Dying.
This book
was translated relatively early on into English, so probably everybody knows about this book. And the other book is an ancient Egyptian text. And but this book doesn't explain the process of death and the bardo state and rebirth in as detailed a manner as the Tibetan Book of Dying does. Tibetan Khenpo, in any case, isn't familiar completely with this text. So the Tibetan Book of Dying, which was based on first-hand experience of meditators in the process of dying, the results of their meditative experiments in the Book of Dying accord with many experiences of Westerners and scientists in the 20th and 21st centuries.
Tani poba tani gomba cho nala tani khana chola ti chetok ko tani ta ti thola jimjik she cheta tani nyamnyong ko gom gyamni nyamnyong sak cheta tani mambu zhar yang she bare tarta yang tani she ko yores.
So the meditation and investigation into the human life force and the results and knowledge generated by this is something that was done in the past, and it's something that continues to be done today.
Tani korang cho te yang mangsok ko nala tani yang marndroni mangsok so la ta popa ko nala gomba re la tani khotso la tani ndreba yongkang ka tani dewa kimsang mambu yore ti kimsang te cho chama nyam deni tani chama tani loso cha ne chama la tani te ko dat tani tragres.
And with this knowledge, many monks and other representatives from monasteries would go into the communities and teach and share with the community the information and knowledge that they had.
Tani ti jimsenji nga cho tani yang tega yang shusok ko thok tani mo gir ko na tani ta chowa ko thokla tani tawa tega tani shikin halipaz tani ta thep kon dos.
And this had great impact and influence on the ideas and thoughts and values of individuals in Tibetan society.
Tani shusok ko thok da mo gir ko tani ta chowa ko thokla tani ta shikin kangris thep kon dos na thomar korang cho mo chin de mo ge che ji ji pan de tani ju ta dechche tang dam ba tani zi yamba. And
so the precise way that these ideas had benefit for the community at large and for individual humans in terms of their lives was in the way in which it enabled people to generate a feeling of happiness.
Teni koran so teni sanlo tana mog cheze ba de hajang ka teni yin rambo zres teni yin rambo so teni thongo yoti teni koran so sanlo tana nge shawa yak bozle mo jambala no pa yong ya le ka male changmala phamba yong ya le ka de lena teni nga maung ba na yin rambo la ngarang demo ta ke bo yong gandu samji teni yichi ta teni koran so go semla teni ndos.
So this long-term view of life meant that people really believed that good actions undertaken today would lead to happiness and good outcomes for a long time into the future, gave people a great deal of benefit.
Ta shina yang tini ta rang tini gewa yak bo dribna janla phamba dribna nga shina yang kyung ko mari samni tin chwa ta ko cholan jikchak chembo mepala pai pe tini phantok yong dos.
And it had great benefit in terms of people's attitudes to death. So while many people in many places have great fear and terror about dying, this long-term, long-range view of life meant that Tibetans were able to approach death without such fear, knowing that one had done good things and virtuous things, one would not face death feeling such terror and fear. And this beneficial influence was particularly pronounced among older generations, people of old age.
Te Kangrezina Gacho Tartan Zambolanga Tola, Teni Shariana Naviana Chamala, Teni Gargi Sola, Teni Linker Narson, Tendishi, Tari Jisu, Teni Soso, Teni Bodan Pomo, so Teni Tartoya Bomashi, Tendishi on the Teni, Soso Sem Canala, Dumar Mambo, Yoni, Tendi Dumar Mambo Yoni, Simjigla Halipa, Semkyoa, Tendi Yong Yopitindi Cabs race.
We currently live in an age in which elderly people, after they've retired and no longer doing their jobs, and perhaps they're not treated well by their sons and daughters, often live in situations of extreme inner suffering.
Tani mambozola tani korang jiba tani retsari jisa tani jisting tola gosayang me lekayang leke me wangchayang me tendri rendo wi kapsu tani korang ga leka kangre leguna hamako shawa kang lena hamako ni nima takbar shwati gni ndik ma to bajan 즉 kosola 즉 pundan dang samlo tendri mepa rendo di tini hajang ga sem tini kyoboda dungmer mombo yung gandos.
So there are many people who arrive at later stages in their life. Perhaps they've not achieved, great observable things in terms of their material accomplishments or their status and prestige, not knowing what they should do with their time. They feel a lot of suffering.
Tendri yendi teni ta yinnayang teni ta korang chogo teni che yang rangbo da ma che yang rangbo zi ba tendri shi yongdi teni korang chogo gargi re na tarong korang chogo teni janla phamba yong ya ga leka tendri dribna ngarang mentni yakbo yong gore samne kosola rewa sarwan da wo tendri lebe yong gondos.
However, by being able to see life as something that is much more long-term and ongoing than this current one, then old people in this situation are able to generate new hopes in later stages of their life.
Tendri yendi soso chechokla teni rewa chapata shiwang juewang ze rewa chapata yi chapa tendri yong gmend korang chogo rewa sarwa tendri lebe yong gndo teni chornyak sarwa shin de追求 ze chornyak sarwa tendri lebe yong yores.
And so in this situation, people don't become desolate and despondent and lose all hope in life. By contrast, they develop all kinds of new hopes and new pursuits looking further into the future.
Teni di jimsen tela teni soso teni ta masig nangla teni ta ju tari pena shawa tsindi thola soso ju teni 저 샤와 약보 만저 반다오다 람조 약보 마숑 완다오 덴지 레송나 양양 소소고 체 쪽라티니 하정 그 예차니 강밤 통보 돈이 말스 제진다오다 데니 소소 주티니 천왕람 총한다다다 덴지 mambo 용거 mëdëgze 소소고 레바 사르와다 네 다리 마용나 지마 용거레 다리 마용나 티 마용와데 ngama 약보 마시바레 옛나 당이 약보시나 약보 용거레 삼네데 코소고 마옹발라 파르타니 So by looking far into the future, this traditional Tibetan outlook has benefit in terms of stopping people from feeling desolate and disillusioned. There are not many people who, on account of encountering bad luck or unfavorable circumstances in their life, want to end their existences by jumping from the top of buildings and things like this. Tini 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 장딘 대당 tini 최초 영랑보 연바 tini 라틴니 tini 뭐 사마가 셈라 소소 랑그 셈라 보바다 랑그 셈라 tini 랑라 이치 tini 용위 점선지 tini 셈거나라 등머 망보도 tini 메니 사마가 tini 머체라 tini 레와당 담바 던지즈렌도 온도스. So by having this long-range view of life and the conviction of the need to behave in an honest and upright manner, this has great benefit for people, enabling them to generate confidence, enabling them to generate hope with regards to their current existences and the future. Teni tesjiri ni baderis teni sambada kangrezina teni yang bok teni rinega nangla teni shiloko nguboda teni nanga teni moga teni sim ga teni chowa yana ngubo gun chowa tang sim gun chowa teni ka tumnyam yakbo teni yongo rezeni teni te halepat thongchin la tsres. And one of the third respects in which the traditional values had benefit to society was in terms of the importance of the belief in maintaining a balance between the external material world and the state of one's inner mind. Teni tartang aso da chama mamboz keteni lo nibya samja keteni kongne 다 납속라더니 까자더니 망보샤파더니 당보숑어레 나랑서 데스키지야티 무부그나니 용거레 제니더니 마망보즈거더니 샤니 더니 마망보 무보고 톨라 식망보자 소소 무보고 초와데 야르게라 망보탄니 티톨라 바바 망보시오레스. For the last 200 or 300 years, following ideas or notions that first began in the West, many people believe that
the external material world is the source of happiness, and on this account devote great energies to achieving attainments in this realm.
tani ngubo nga chola go ore karchimbo ore zina karchimbo re se tani ngubo mena tani ngubo gonsowa da mena tani nga cho tani cho ne tab cho wa ker tab ko mare sombo shini do tab ko mare karchimbo ore zina te karchimbo re.
Of course, are material things, is material life important to us? Of course it is. Without material things and without the material world, we simply can't sustain our own existences. However, if we only concern ourselves with this material realm, it's absolutely not okay.
tani chembo ne tele chi tani khangba chingni ni ne som ne je tani shini yarge tani tani khangba ya ramba chimto tang yore si tata.
People these days often think that they need to constantly upgrade the material aspects of their life, so go from a small house to a bit better house and constantly upgrade the quality of the material possessions they have.
tani langkhor la samlo tangbo na tangbo tabdin rawo tani tez kong chewa tani tewe jang kong chewa tani kimsang chig la tani khsum je nga chig je tani shine mambu nyo ne tani ti thola yang rambai chimto tang yores.
And this idea is the same in terms of people's cars. They might start off with a relatively economical car, and after that they get a more expensive car, and go on until perhaps they have in one family 3 or 4 cars or more.
tani nga so komba kyonjin da so sampa na chin zamba lang la ka ta yong khang ga tini takma yong khang ga tini ko komba ra wata tani li ti chi tani nga so chi tani chomla yo pi tani lokchi ko ra yin na ta da so chama yar ramba kong da tani par ni nga so dawa re ta lo re le chevzang ta ni tani nga so chama ga telam ba ba she ga yo res.
And this idea that we have to constantly upgrade and improve the nature of the material things in our lives is something that we apply to the clothes we wear, wanting to wear famous brands, etc. The electronical appliances we have in our homes, we apply the same notion of the same acquisitiveness and belief in the need to upgrade to everything.
tani tso tola nga so kable mambo ya barsun mambo shi tisun mambo tani tani ta khangba ramba thombo shi charsong tani langkhor yang ramba thombo shi charsong tani nga so nyingkhor la yo pi tani chalak chama yang tani ramba thombo shi ni ta chama ramba thombo chak charsong res.
So now we've arrived at a time, or through doing this we arrive at a point where everything in our lives is full of expensive things, whether it be our house, it's worth a lot, our car, it's worth a lot, the things in our possession, they're worth a lot too.
Tati kapsa nga so tini rambam thombon ro matha pata ka rezena tini nga so so rang res.
The only thing in this situation that we can't drive up in value is ourselves.
Tani nga so sim yargin ro to yo mares.
And our minds can't improve any further.
Sim rambam thombo yar parto yo mares shenji tishan or the rambam thombo parto yo mares.
There's no way in which we can upgrade the quality of our own minds.
Tani nga so lipon de cherg ma to bande yar ramba parto yo mares.
So our bodies, they're only going to get older and older. There's no way that we can really upgrade them.
Tindi she sonde tini nga so tini te nga so so rang da tani nga so rang da na tani nga so ti ngupo tini ka tani tu mam nyem ba tani chabar chimbo son ne tani nga so ngupo la yar ta go ya ta tindi zikar ta rind go res.
And so at this point we can perceive that we have not able to maintain balance between our the energies we apply to the material world and our own minds. We are in a situation where we are looking upwards at the material things in our lives.
Tani nguma shena nga so tini ta ngupo la marta go ya tindi zre thap sona tini ta ngupo da nga so la japshi de kitchen tindi shi thap gres.
What we really need to do is be in a situation where we are looking down on material things with the idea that they can be of service to us.
Tani ngubu de nga so teni yarta goya gao gao zai shang ngubu de thola yarta goya ra teni re songdi teni ngubu de so nga so semla dekir yong mata pa ma tsa teni ngubu di sala nga so la dungar mambo teni ke yong yores.
But when we're in this situation where we have put material things on such a high pedestal, then they're no longer able to give us happiness or benefit. In fact, what they end up doing is giving us more and more suffering.
Tani zamlang ngerkang shije yinghang zamlang ngerkang ge tini ta mar jak chapjak shi pati kang rezina tini nga chu tirib ni shi cha shi ba nang la tini rangchok pjad ni tini shiwa ta tini mun nam ge tini ta shirke ge mun nam shiwa ge gikin samba de rezine tini shandus
这是这样叫什么呢？
shije yinghang ge gang de rezina 自杀自己的人类的第三大死因啊。
다 균진 조 숨유를 봐.
말. 뭐 시야가 뭐 시키 그 점선 뭐 시키 그 점선 섬거나니 찍레즈니 샤요레스. 마 디럽니 시작직 바나라 뭐 시키라 점선만 보여래. 디나니 점선 치슈 섬거나니 찍도 더니 제 랑쪽샤지들 레즈니 샤요레스.
According to the World Bank, the reasons for people's deaths today, among the three greatest reasons, one of them is suicide.
야, 더니 랑쪽샤 파티 더니 야치 탐바도 더니 동시를 끝나 이위전 레즈니 샤요레스. 야치.
Oh, and of people who commit suicide, 80% is due to the depression.
Tani America samlo tambayana chiktung gubja trikchet hamba tang tani nitong lo tani ke partinti lo thong lo jibchet hamba nang la tani yiwi chen tongser ke nat tani dabchi shipe dabchi jemang la song yores ti napa.
In America, within 10 years, the incidence of depression has increased tenfold.
Tani lor ngapchi ngola tani chig trikchet hamba lo la tani tongser ke nat yiwi chen tani yongkeng ke ti mo ti chamnim ke lo tsit kang rezina lo nish tsargres pinjun nianlin lo nish tsargres.
Nam.
Chig trikchet hamba lo la.
Chig hamba. Lo ngapchi kungona.
Oh yeah.
50 years ago, the average age of people who had depression was 25.
Tani ta lo ngapchi ge jila ta tartan ra poinna tani ti chamnim ge tani lo de tani mar jenyong sone ta lo jivjires 14岁平均年龄 lo jivjires.
Whereas 50 years later, today, the average age of people who suffer depression has lowered considerably and is now 14 years of age.
Ya da tinji indi tini ngaso pamjur hali bayar giris in zambalong ka thona tini America tini pamjur yar giris.
Of course, looking at the situation in America, the economic situation is extremely flourishing.
Rete sem ka thola tini ta manam ka sem ka thola tini na mambo tini ta yongje ta chemang yembate tani ta tela janga ha chang saru yoris.
However, the fact that mental illness is something that is ever increasing is something that we have very clear statistics on.
Tenji indi tini ta nitong chik lola tini ta tonsir ka nat mepa ga man ti nang la khang yiwi ji ze. Di tonla tini America ga tini argor America gormo tini tongshir chigbyata tongshir dungyata chikchetam ba tangdix man tli ki tondala.
In the year of 2006, an incredible amount of American money was spent on antidepressants.
Tongshir 670亿
$67 million American dollars.
Yeah. Jete yinna tarong yang chunchum shi tab go mares.
However, still this problem has not been able to be brought under control.
Tani nga chum modang mo war ka tinim rewate par cherang ro yoris.
And the relationships between people are becoming more and more estranged.
Tani America da inji ga nangla tani monam chikachila yichi te mar chik nga chola yemchi chongala yemchi yichi te tani mar lo sumche thamba ga nangla haleba ga tani mar je yichi me pare ni mar long yoris.
And within the space of 30 years, social trust between people in society has suffered immensely.
Tendri yendi teni mambo zikateni teni ta kochola teni langkoriyo dari kambayo chama yonayang teni korang matse nyangbo ngomade kang hago yo mares.
So even though people have their house and they have their cars, there are many people who have no idea what the essence or the basic value of their life is.
The tendri gateni dungur mambo zu yongo yorezi te yongwi jimsen te ngacho matse gati jangrang bola tamate pi jimsen ji rendos.
And so this kind of suffering is due to the fact that we don't in fact have a long-range, long-term view of our own lives.
ngacho matse ngomi ngoma matse chechok ngoma ta chinjing ngacho goyo mare ngacho gowati chechok nani tongtong chigma to goyo mares.
What we understand as our human life is in fact only the smallest, most microscopic section of in fact a very long thing.
Perna ngarancho sa muzgina sa kolandi tolan dugna teni ngola teni lewer shigongli jabla lewer chima to batewi hago mare kanrizin rikumares.
So if we're sitting somewhere, if we're sitting at a particular location, we can really only see things or know things, let's say 10 kilometers in one direction and 10 kilometers in another. Beyond this, we've got no idea of what exists.
Teni sa kolandeli yara teni to chaoyue jana 사골란드 가르니 베나 다비 통자 야나 틴지자 소네스타나 오타 사골라트 틴지즈렌도 삼지 창마데 약보즈하 창마 용족도 약보즈 시그레스.
However, if we were to go to another planet like the moon and look back on the earth, we would say, oh, that's what the earth looks like, and we would see it in a different light.
덴자 보즈 nga초 심도 테니 굼잡니 야르지 름바 쳔토 소네 테니 다 딘지제 소나 테니 코랑 장랑보니 치타티 테니 먹어 체쪽 창마 테니 하고를 용족도 시그리스.
And in a similar way, through meditation and by improving one's insight into one's mind, one can perceive that the human life is in fact extremely long and it can be appreciated in its entirety.
테니 덴지가 따와트 테니 약보즈 요 소나 테니 소소라나 테니 더 머치라 리와 약보 용야다 테니 머치라 人生的积极态度 harsun个테니 더 셈캄 덴디 용와 덴디 라페 판통도 용거도스.
So this view has great benefit in terms of this long-term view of life has great benefit to people and gives them hope and also a sense of the benefit and of being diligent in one's existence.
덴디 인디 보바 제라테 코랑 같으니 밤줄 것도네 하정 때니 야르지 송용 큰 것들 지스 마리다 옛나한테 따와다 런턴 따와티 소거더니 코랑 솔라다 심 것도라 더니 파라지 더니 심 거 데르지 거 나와 mambo즈더니 따와다 소거더니 테 파르코 솔라 징거요레스.
So even though Tibet traditionally has not been an economically flourishing, has been in an economically flourishing situation, views on the human life and have that. However, they were able to obtain great happiness from the results of their traditions around the inner mind.
Teni te sumrezi teni jipata teni koranso teni jigni tela teni munam gotini ndopa tela teni hajang tarchiga teni rumaimba chanzen yakbozu shetab goyoris.
And a fourth way of the benefit of these ideas was in enabling people to keep their desires in check.
Shirnang aranso malatini ndopa tsawani yonya marzi teni kaja marezi munamla muzigin sarti ndopa menkanzu jigyang yo marezi.
Of course, to say that people should have no desires at all is not the case. A person being a person, a human, is of course going to have desires.
Teni ngaranso kashigzena ndopa zikito yorgoare ndopa zikito ngaso teni perji gershik fatan de tongli authentic kanga teni mambo yores.
But many people say that we need desire. We need to desire because it is the driving force of development.
Te dembareze ngaso teni de yona 노바데 요나테니 가소테니 야르진로레스 뎀바레스.
This is true. If we do have desire and drive, then this will impel us to work towards development.
레팅 아촌 도바다 할리바틴디티니 야르틴디 레소나 야르지 도바다 할리바가티니 촌진 메바틴디 레소나 참 메바틴디 레소나 테니 가소 야르지 갈라 칸섬스 소네 티 지니티니 가라 조자와니 메바틴디 요나고 마레스.
So, though if we don't keep our desires in check, if we enable our desires to grow in a completely unchecked way, then even though we might obtain a particular level of economic flourishing, what happens after that is something that we don't know.
Tani zambalang ko thona perna khori ko thola ina chama ko dolang mambo she khori ko tongkyop ko lerka mambo le tenri mambo le yore chama pe hali ba yagbores. Zambalang la khori tongkyop ko thola tani kaja mambo she dolang mambo she tenri lerka mambo le chokba mambo lerka le yore so chama hali ba yagbores.
Okay, the efforts that are made in the world towards protecting the natural environment, anti-protection efforts, etc. There's a lot of people doing this kind of work, and it's very good.
Rete ina nga so mogon dopa la tini chonjumshi matavna dopa ga chonjumshi matavna tini nga so tini khori ko tongkyub zeran rawta chokchak tongkyub zeran rawta so chawani tini te mayong yongtab ga maris.
However, if people aren't able to control their desires and keep their desires in check, then these external measures to protect the environment and protect animals, etc., won't really achieve any good or strong results.
Nga so munam ga tini dopa ta par sadme pa tini te je wuxian de panjang tendri she jang di dongla tani khori ko tongkyub zeran rawta te so tini kaja chongchong re shengyin hen xiao.
So in a situation where desires are growing in an untrammeled way, then the voices that argue or urge for environmental protection become very, very weak and very, very slight.
Teni nga so zambalanga mo tongshir dumbo tamshik poteni ta mo shikpo namgun soan dendiz koso yang teni yongna samne koso rewa jab gyoris.
Everybody in the world aspires to the same level of living or standard of living as the richest people alive.
Jete te yong gona nga so zambalanga mo tongshir denchit tini mo tarta zambalanga sharshon no shok tini mo shikpo ta teso chowa ta kir gona tani sakola simni nga tendiz mena te dangamendus.
However, if everybody on the earth today is to achieve the same standard of living as the richest people in the earth and in the east and the west, then we would need approximately the resources of 3 to 5 times the earth that we have today. And unfortunately, we only have at our disposal one earth.
Zina tini ni kong te takla tini tengo res nga so min dopate.
And in this situation, what we need to do then is to keep our desires under control.
Tini ta nipati tengo na nipati mar nga so tini nga so dopate par tengo na tini dopate chanzen zmashina tini yong tab mares.
However, if we're not able to keep our desires in check or to reduce them, then we won't be able to achieve strong results.
Tani bopa tini koran so tini sem go tini chowata dang tini ngupo chowata tini ramnyim yak bo yong go zeni mangbo sha gen de to tini koran so chowa go thola pan to yak bo yong gen.
So many people say in Tibet, and many Tibetans say that in fact the material world and one's inner world need to be kept in balance with each other, and this is of great benefit to people's lives.
Tendi yen sondi teni da ngai samlo tamba yenna ajo boba ngana na yoni gomba ga teni yaksa ga teni shikin yakbo teni tepsa ga shikin chama shenna ajo mambo haliba mambo re yenna ngai samlo tana ta desu kashi zi tanga jo tera tichu ga wang ga mambo su sha chemen do te yenna desu 다주 때즈 가서 시초고 돌아더니 곰바가 되니 더 판토수 판토 요사디 다 대소레스.
So the benefit or the influence that monasteries have in Tibetan society are diverse and numerous. Tonight I haven't spoken of all of the respects in which monasteries exert a positive influence on society. I've just decided to speak about the things that I've told you tonight.
ngazo 공도 셰피 되니 런탕 갔다와 대소이나 되니 보바치포 말인 잠볼랑 금르 탐주폴라 되니 요고사리 삼근도스.
And I feel that these values are of benefit to people everywhere, not just to Tibetans.
가르티 되니 마요나 되니 ngazo 잠볼랑 금르 망보즈 그 락라 되니 차르 되니 그 락서 잠마다 망보요레스. 락바가나라 잠마다 망보요레. 디 락서도 쏘더니 배슈디 약보 마땅나 되니
So, with the tools of science in the hands of everybody around the world, if they're not used appropriately, if they're not used correctly, then it will spell a great disaster for the world. So for this reason, if people everywhere had or adopted, embraced the value of balance between the external and the internal, this would be of benefit everywhere. So my talk ends here. Thank you.